Okay, guys, sorry, it just did a weird thing. And let me go make sure that we're going to all of our platforms, okay? And then we're going to be here. Okay. All right, here we are. We're live. Welcome to Epitaphs. I'm Kristen. We are at the end of week 8. That means that we have only 3 more weeks left after today. So the show ends on November 22nd, and we have, I think, something really exciting on that day. That'll be 3 weeks from today. We're going to be wrapping it up with a special broadcast. So be sure that you are tuning in and that you're checking out all the other videos. So today I'm going to continue to work on the memoryscape for the Museum of Dead Words. Again, if you've missed any of those or I'm not sure what I'm doing, all of those videos are going to be on our YouTube. They'll stay on Twitch for a little bit, but YouTube and our website are going to be the best places to check out everything that we've been doing. So I've been kind of jumping around a little bit with these because I missed a couple weeks. So I have a new layer for Sophie, who interpreted the word sexist/sexism. So I am going to show you that, and then we'll get into some editing, okay? So let me make sure that everything is on here. Let me share this video with you, and I'll kind of talk through what here we are. We're all good. Okay. And then I'll kind of talk through what I did. So, I'm trying not to be too redundant with these, but I do have a pretty straightforward process of how I do these things. So, it'll be exciting. Okay. So next week I'm going to be doing some actual printing and stuff. So I'm going to be wrapping up these memoryscapes for all of our artists. And I'm getting different kinds of data based on what they give us. So this is Sophie. She lives in Mexico City, and she created these murals, these flags she created 11. Did she do 11 flags? Or she might have ended up doing 5 that she installed. But she installed them, put them up around the city, and got interviews. She basically created a document, a mini documentary for this piece. You have to check that out. That video is on our YouTube, on our website, and it's her conversation with Dialect. That happened on October 8th. But she was working on this project very, very intently up until then, and you can see how she installed them. You can see the people's responses. The police actually took down her work, and so she's young too. She's 19 and is already doing incredible work. So what I did for this piece is kind of similar to what I've been doing. I went and grabbed some topographic satellite views of the places that she spoke about and Mexico City, and those give me a good texture to interweave. So what I did in some of these, I can back up a little bit. This video isn't too long. So you can see right here, I went and grabbed these satellite views of the museum where she hung one of her pieces. I love this grid. And so there were some good textures that came from Mexico also. And then what I do is I start interweaving them. And so that's just going to give me some textures. Again, I've talked about this a lot. I feel like I'm being redundant, but there might be new people tuning in. So, yeah, it's again, this is just a way to turn someone's story into a piece of artwork. And so this is what I've been doing. And so That's month and day grid. I'm going to get into that today too. We're going to start combining a lot of these layers. I'm not going to do another new person right here on the live stream because I need to start kind of meshing all of these together into one piece. It's just going to be one piece. So yeah, you can see how that grid came in to displace her portrait. And I used the textures from Mexico City also to interweave into there. That's what gave me this distortion. And I'm using numbers from geographic locations to tell me how much to distort these images together. And so we got with Sophie, I got Sophie's done, and I'm going to add that in. So I think today, now I have a total of 6. Yeah, I have a total of 6 pieces like this that I've created. And so I need to start interweaving these, and I wanted to do some printing today, but I think I'm going to be safe for the live stream because I haven't done that on the live stream. But I can tell you more what I'm going to print, and then I'll show it next week. Okay, so let me get in to my Photoshop screen, and I'll show you, I'll recap kind of what I've worked on in the past, 8 weeks, and then we'll start layering those. Again, if y'all have any questions or anything, you can throw them in the chat, and I'll see them from wherever you're viewing. I'll see some questions, some shout outs. Let me know what you think about the work. If you have kind of thoughts on where it could go and how I can interweave these things, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, and that's, even if you're viewing this afterwards, we're a very interactive bunch here at the Museum of Dead Words. So we love to hear from you. All right, here we go. Let's get some Photoshop on the screen. And it's looking really good. I am really excited. So this is what I did last week. Did I do this last week? Last week was a bad week. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I feel like my live stream last week was not very good. I was getting a little frustrated because my computer was really slow. So I made sure to open everything this week so that we don't run into that again. But this is the piece that I created for Stevie, who interpreted the word slut. Stevie created a Jeopardy game. Again, you can watch that interview with Dialect. You really got to see all these. There's been a lot of discussion. It's a lot of content, but it's really amazing work. She created a Jeopardy-style trivia game about the history and etymology of the word slut. And so she gave me a lot of good data to work with, too. That was in week 6. But she gave me a lot of good data to work with, a lot of locations, and you can see how I did that. That's on last week's video. Okay, so this was Stevie. And then I just did Sophie's, which you just saw that quick view of, but this is what I got to for her. Again, there's going to be a lot more negative space. I'm going to grab some things, take them out. But I really like this vibrant like fuchsia coming in, and so I kind of want to preserve that color as I interweave. And these little tiny like pixelated bits are good for when I get to the printing. Okay, so I have some pieces right here next to me that I'll show at the end. But well, let me show you, because these are really good. These little pixelated bits are really good for this. Let's get to, let me see. These pixelated bits are really good because I go in here on the metal and I kind of outline, and I'm going to be doing that live. No sense in showing you something that isn't, well, I don't know. It's cool. I get excited about the process. So those little pixelated bits, though, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to try to preserve some of those too, because they give me more opportunity to add more in with the pen afterwards, after it's printed. And so let's, I'm going to bring in Sophie's into the big piece. And then we'll start. I'm just going to kind of get into the editing. It's kind of, it's really like I said, like digital painting. So hopefully, I might, go quiet for a little bit, but I'll be here. And again, love to hear from you guys. So I want to make sure I can see the screen also, in case we get any comments or anything, so I can pull them up. All right. All right, everything looks good. Okay, so is my pen working? My little Wacom. I have to plug it in. All right, guys, I'm gonna be right there. Here we are. All right, let me plug this in because this makes it a lot easier to work with. This is a Wacom tablet. It's like basically an electric drawing pad. So it connects to my computer, and I have this little pen that I can draw and like move stuff around. So it's pretty fun. That's why I like to use it. Okay, cool. Here we are. So I'm going to also bring in this month and days. Again, if you know my work and have seen the stuff, then you this might be redundant for some people, but every piece is different based on the algorithm. So let me not waste any more time. I appreciate y'all being here, and I hope that everyone had a good Halloween. However you celebrate the fall, it's a lovely time. We had a good time. And yeah, it's November. Cannot believe it. What a crazy year. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for spending time with us and keeping up with the process. Hopefully there's some people who've been keeping up. All right, so this is a lot of layers. I've not worked with this many layers before. So I just gotta see what we're gonna start doing here. I think that this I'm gonna put up top because all that white space I can use. I think I'm gonna change that layer because I can use that white space in the. Okay, cool. I can use that. So you see how that now is just blocked out. Some of that pink, I'm gonna do both options and see. But for Stevie, or this is Sophie now, the layer that I'm working on. But I'm gonna do some different blending modes, and it's gonna look pretty crazy for a while. But I already love the normal text coming in from Lynn's work. And so if we look at just these individual layers, these are, like I said last week, I love these as individual pieces too. So I might have to do something with that. But this is Clara, who did Hypocrite, Joy, who did Miscegenation, Stephen, who interpreted racism, Lynn, who did a stop motion animation for Normal. And this right here is Sophie, who did Sexist, and Stevie, who did Slut. So I want to make sure that, some of these are coming through in each layer so that no one is, so that we kind of have an equitable share of this data. And it's this one is on. Let me turn that one on. And yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, y'all, but it's going to work. I feel like I'm not even doing anything, but yeah, I think that that's the move right there, is to grab some of these pieces and then start layering. So maybe I'm going to go like this. I have a couple there. I'm going to go like this with these month and days. And so we just celebrated Dialect's birthday. So let's do October 29th. So I have October right here in this column, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And so I select you saw what I did. I used that magic wand tool and I selected on this layer that I just made for Sophie. And we'll go ahead and copy that one, see what we get. And then using that bit, or let's see. November 22nd, the show ends. Let's grab something over on this side. So from Sophie's work, she had mentioned about a big feminist protest that happened on March 8th, 2020, and how that was really, she felt like things were happening and then COVID happened. And so she talked about that a lot in her work or in her interview. And so that's a date that stands out to me. What am I doing here? I want to select similar pixels. And so now what I'm going to do is merge those two together. And if I click Command, hold Command on my keyboard and click in that layer, it's going to it'll reselect those pixels that makes up the layer. So anytime there is that gray and white checkered, that means that it's a transparent background. So it's going to select just what we have, which is really good. I like to do that because it's kind of going to create that masking. And so I'm just going to see what that looks like on a couple of these. So I'm using those pixels, but I'm going to select a different layer now. And it's pretty shallow. There's not a lot of information in that. So I'm want to pick something that is going to give me a little bit more solid colors. And so what that just did was it gave me this little bit. And there's still some more over here that you're not really seeing because of that being transparent. So that's a way that I can combine. That's a way that I can combine this work of multiple people, where it's being informed by all of these different data sets. But it's just kind of a way that I am able to really distort stuff down, and people are like, what? That's an image behind there. And of course it's like super, this is how I get to that. And again, it's just a way to reflect. And that's what this whole part of the show became about. It kind of got tacked on at the last minute, of just like wanting to have a day of reflection and create a piece for the show. So let's get some more dates. If anyone wants to throw up any dates in the comments, I'll put your thing in right now. So maybe there's some dates that I can select on here, because all of this, all of our viewers, everything, like our audience, when we go do these shows in person, everyone becomes a part of the work. So if anyone has like a birthday, that you want to throw up in a chat somewhere, I'll select it on one of these layers, and we'll just start like really incorporating a bunch of people into this work. If anyone's out there, you can throw something up, any date, and if not, we can go with, yeah, if you want to throw something up there, I'll see it. But let's see who else I have here. So for Lynn, I'm going to take one of these. That is really, okay, her birthday. Let's go June 18th. So I'm going to select June 18th on Joy, but while Joy's memoryscape edit is highlighted. So it's going to select these pixels on her piece. June 18th. And what I do, I can change how much it's selecting here. So I have begun to put some more of these numbers into the tolerance, which is going to like tell me how much that little point is going to spread out. So like 67 is one of the numbers that Lynn gave me. So if we were to do that number, you can see how much that changes. So it changes the spread of that selection. And so there's another way that I have kind of that, like I keep saying, this planned spontaneity of how I'm editing and distorting these pieces. So if I select similar, now it's given me this new selection. But I'm gonna keep that one, but I'm gonna select now those pixels on, I have Clara's up there. Let's do this one. This is Lynn's. And if I hit Command J, it's going to copy the layer with only those things selected. So let's take these down and see where we're at. And I'm going to add a white background so that we can see this a little bit better. Okay. Also, see, the thing that I have done is I have these different blending modes too. So that's going to change the way that it blends onto the white. So for now, so you see this says divide. I'm just going to go make that a normal blending so that everything is just going to be stacked on top of each other. And then we can see what we need to do here. But yeah, this is all part of the process. And from now until the 22nd, I have to finish this piece, the digital aspect, and then I have to print onto the metal. So I'm going to show you guys the printing process. I'm going to get through this. I think what I'm going to do is get through the rest of this digital work on my own time, but I'll do recordings of it so that I can throw up a time lapse and see it. But I want to get into the printing because that is really fun. And it's, like I said, a whole other part of the process. The reason I've been working the way I have been is to kind of stick with the week that we've been on, even though I've been off of that now. But I've been doing the edit on the week of that person. But if I want to finish this metal piece before the end of the show, I need to work ahead. And I think it'll be fun to show the printing. So what I'm going to do is my printer is here. I was going to do a thing today, but I don't want to test it without and have it be like a weird thing. Plus I can set up my phone and record it, and it'll be cooler to see the print happen. But I do want to tell you what I'm going to do for Jose's work. So Jose just did Deserve, and he spoke with Dialect this week, and he speaks a lot about culture of origin, like his origins, and there's some more digging that I need to do to make sure I gather all of those locations, because I've also done trigonometric kind of blending. So what I want to do is pinpoint these locations and find the distances between them, and then I'll use those distances in a trigonometric function to give me a triangle that I can then layer on top of these pieces and select out pixels. But when he and I first talked, we talked about printing on transparencies. And so that kind of had me thinking that I want to print his work in that way. And so I have some of these pulled up right here. And this is his manuscripts that he did for the show, that he shared with us for the show. And again, you can watch that video where Dialect was reading through these in different languages, and they're just so visual as well as informative. And so what I'm going to do is, and I'll share this video, but I'm going to try to print on this transparency, which I've done in the past. This is a transfer sheet, so I can print his words and it'll be on this transparency that I can then transfer to the metal first. So I'm going to transfer those to the metal. And then I layer up the metal with gesso and handwriting. So this will kind of be like beneath the layers. So in a piece like this, I have layered this up first with gesso and a grinder tool and a Dremel tool to add texture, but I'm going to have his words kind of be in the background there. So again, that'll be a way that all of these stories of these people are going to be interconnected. So yeah, I need to spend some time with this guy because there's a lot happening, and I want to say that I want to spend some more time with this thing, and I'll know when it's right, but it'll be probably many more hours, but that's where I'm at. And it's a lot of additive, and then subtraction again. At the end you start carving it out until you get these pieces left. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm gonna change it up. Sorry, I feel like I've just been on here talking a lot, but but I'm gonna tune in next week. We'll be back on Sunday. I'll be back on Sunday. That's gonna be the 8th of November, and this week I'm gonna try and get to the printing of some, or at least start working on the metal, so you can see how I'm grinding them away, and maybe I'll have like that surface ready for you guys. But yeah, so there's still much more to do. I'm hoping that I'll have the finished piece on the 22nd when we have Truth. The end of the week 11, the last week is Truth. And I'm hoping to have this finished piece for you guys. So I'm going to just work on my own time to finish this digital, and then we'll get to some printing, and it'll be really exciting. And then, like I said, we're going to do hopefully a big gathering at the end of the show. And yeah, be sure to catch us. There's only 3 more weeks left. So we'll be back tomorrow. Week 9 starts the word obvious/obviously with Elizabeth Starkey, and she has done this kind of optical illusion installation in the space. And so be sure to tune in to her conversation with Dialect is on Thursday. And then on Tuesday, yes, that's right, on Tuesday, Election Day, take a break from the madness. Come hear about the etymology, the ideas behind the word obviously, how it died online, why it died, put in your thoughts on, is it dead? You can submit your own words to the Dead Words bucket on our website, themuseumofdeadwords.com. Let me see. I should have this little ticker. So yeah, add to the Dead Words bucket at museumofdeadwords.com, and you can find us on social media at Museum of Dead Words, at Dialect. I'm Kristen Crouch. There's an underscore after that. And just, yeah, catch up with us, catch up on the old videos if you're just tuning in. But yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday with Dialect talking about obvious. So we'll see you then. Thanks for being here, guys.